All right, here we go.
One and only.
Yes.
If you don't know why we're playing this song, you've got some catching up to do.
The man who stole the show on Monday Night Raw.
I mean, what else was? I know people were saying it was a pretty good episode. It really.
Raw was a good show. We'll get into Raw, but Ricochet hands down stole the night.
I agree.
Unbelievable.
I agree.
Unfucking believable. We got to talk about Raw, but we have so much to fucking cover. What a week to talk. I mean, with the Chamber, and then you got Raw. I mean, we do. We got to, and then, of course, Hall of Fame. So
yes, the one Hall of Fame induction so far, and it's a doozy.
It's a doozy. So I guess we really gotta start with the Chamber now.
I think so. I think that's the place to start. They opened up with the women's tag team championship elimination chamber finals tournament deal thing.
I thought it was well done.
I did too.
I thought they did a great job.
Yeah.
There was
I
one.
like how good Sonya and Mandy looked.
They
look really good.
Even the Iconics.
I was gonna say I can't believe it, but Peyton and Billy actually looked pretty fucking decent. I mean, let's not get carried away, but but they were decent.
Yeah, everybody definitely put work in.
Everyone stepped it up. Like, I don't know, like maybe we're on that road to WrestleMania. You could feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're on the gravy train.
We can all point to it.
All the Ryan, get it up, get the sign up on the get the sign up on the TV behind you. Get the WrestleMania logo up there.
Oh, I see fucking Robin Hood.
Yeah,
and
my
your like Netflix recommendations or whatever they are. Oh, Microsoft Store. Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah,
but there was one little point.
It's work in progress.
Yeah, there's one little point in the middle where like it sagged a little bit, but that happens in a lot of long matches have a little.
Any match, like any point of that match specifically that you can recall, because
it involved Nia and Tamina.
I was gonna say,
like that was it. Like honestly, everything that everybody said was right. Mandy and Sonya and Liv.
The only problem I had with the Iconics was that they kept screaming too much, but other than that, it was fun.
I loved their thing with the sunset flip and the other girl going over.
Peyton changed her hair color too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody's finisher looked pretty good, man.
Yeah, overall it was done well, I think, and the outcome, was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I don't know who else picked those two, but I think it made the most sense because now the next logical step is you have Sasha and Bayley take on Trish and Lita. I'm hoping
I think that would be awesome.
That would be cool. That would be a big moment for
knowing them. They'll have them against the Bella Twins probably.
It'll happen eventually.
Had to say it.
Listen, it's going to happen eventually, but for Mania,
put it out into the universe.
For Mania, it's going to be Trish and Lita.
That would be very nice.
In my heart, I have to stick with that. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, if the Bellas is a SummerSlam thing, then I'd be okay with that.
Yes, I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over the Bella Twins thing. It's just I get it. They're stars. People like them, but they're they don't need to wrestle anymore.
Stars.
Yeah, well, they're reality show stars. How far can you go?
Well, listen, reality stars are pretty big time.
They are, and those girls jumped on that thing and monetized it, and they did a lot of things. I'll give them credit because they pushed a lot of things when they came back. That was a precursor to eventually the whole women's evolution deal. They
were a big part of it, whether we want to embrace it or not.
They were. It was like
they were a big
the
part
generation right before it, kind of setting the table, and
they were the reason for it. In that they sucked so bad that we wanted change.
But the thing is, even though they weren't the best wrestlers, when it came to negotiating things and contracts and making the women a focus and developing the Total Divas kind of reality show brand that can engage more people. Like, they were very ahead of the curve on that. The wrestling stuff, not so much, but between the ropes.
But it's just amazing. What would have happened if they didn't come back the second time?
Yeah, well, we would have had another
Hey,
10 years of Piggy James.
Yeah.
There was something Paige said online, and maybe, you read something in print and it's not always, you lose tone and intent. But she said along the lines of the fans weren't receptive to real women's wrestling at the time the WWE was making the change. And a lot of people kind of respond to that in a way of TNA was already in the midst of doing it. There were plenty of women's only wrestling promotions in the indies, in the mid.
You have to remember something though, Vince, when you're talking about a player like a Paige or anybody associated or affiliated with WWE, it's tunnel vision. Right,
and that's what I was.
It's like when they're speaking,
really just talking about WWE.
Well, right, but to them, when they're speaking, that's all there is. Yeah. Like there is no one else. There's Mount Everest, which is WWE, and then there's everyone else. So to them, when they speak, it's like the debate about first ever women's tag team champions. Well, to them, in this era, in this time, in this generation, this is the first ever women's tag team, and that's how they're going to run with it because it's the tunnel vision, and it's and I get it. To me, it makes sense.
But I don't think that. I mean, yes, there was a certain portion of the audience that wanted to see bra and panties matches and wrestling and pudding and jello and all that horse shit.
But they've been conditioned to that.
They were. But there was also a subset of people who around 2009, 2010 were getting sick of the gaga and the bullshit, and they wanted real women's wrestling. So to say that the fans weren't receptive to women wrestling in roles other than bra and panties matches or whatever is even a little more narrow-minded than just your typical WWE employee opinion. And again, I'm not going to kill her over it. It's one thing that she's said amongst thousands or millions of things that you say in your life. I'm not going to hold a grudge, but I just think it is a little short-sighted. Like, the fans wanted if the fans didn't want it, these girls would be wrestling in bra and panties matches right now.
Yeah, but I'm glad that we're past that. Because
absolutely, 100%.
We got women wrestling now, and we can call it women wrestling.
Now, if they had a Divas division,
well,
in addition to the women's wrestling, there was a Divas division.
I'm okay without it.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying that would be the only way I would be okay with them bringing back that kind of BS stuff is if it was for
another sect of the
separated
girls that got hired because they were Hawaiian Tropics models, not because they were athletes. Just it's
I mean, it's like, listen, I just and maybe listen, back then in the Attitude Era and before when every week we were seeing lingerie matches, bikini matches, pillow fights, and jello wrestling and pudding and all that shit. Like, as a young guy, yeah, like, who wouldn't want to see Stacy Keibler half naked or, Sable or any of these women, Sunny, laying on the pool table and, stroking a pool cue. You know what I mean? Like, it was great, but at the same time, I'm at a point now where we should all be appreciating. True, right. I have a daughter. I'm married. I'm a little bit older, but at the same time, for us now, we're in an era where you should be proud that we have women wrestling, and the women are performing sometimes better than the men. Right now, the number one superstar in the company, the number one superstar is Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
She is selling out everywhere. She is the guy. She is the woman. She is WWE right now. So it's just incredible.
No, it's Becky Lynch.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know.
No, man, I agree with you, man. We're at a tipping point where people want to see wrestlers, like, again, it's the old Jim Cornette thing. Wrestling fans watch wrestling shows to watch wrestlers wrestle.
Right.
What a concept, you know? It's like we're not watching for goddamn Machine Gun Kelly.
Well, right.
No selling a power bomb.
Well,
that was just. Oh my God, we can't talk about that. That would make me angry all over again that it even happened. Yeah, but so the women's tag match, it was the right finish. Everybody looked good. Even Nia, Nia took that cannonball thing into the barricade and it cracked. It shattered. Like I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it got a good crack.
It happens.
Both fit inside the pod, honestly.
That was a tight squeeze for sure. You know, the broken chamber thing is to be expected. It happens an awful lot, but it was a pretty good one. I mean, if you're gonna neutralize the biggest person in the match, that's the way to do it.
But how is Tamina so bad?
I feel like she's had some surgeries. First of all, I think we're discounting the fact that she's like 47 years old.
Yeah.
Well, and I gotta say this too, and I'm going to say this about Nia as well. I don't think they're as bad as people are making them out.
Tamina's 41.
With Tamina, she's slower, you know, and that's because of injury and age and whatnot. But
she's better than Eva Marie.
Well, yeah. And Nia Jax is not that bad. She's really, in my opinion, the outfit is the worst thing about her.
Yeah. And somehow she likes that thing.
I don't know why.
I don't know, man. But Nia, I go up and down on Nia. I like Nia until she goes and like leg drops somebody and breaks their face, or punches them and breaks their face.
But guys, listen, we know it's not intentional, and at the end of the day, it's the fucking wrestling business, and shit's gonna happen. You know. And look, I'm sorry, Amanda. I don't mean to jump on you, but real quick, I gotta get. Look at what it did to Becky Lynch.
Exactly.
Fucked her face up, and she became the new Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know what I mean? Like, fucking A.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. If Nia didn't break Becky's face, do we think that Becky would be as over as she is?
Probably not.
I don't know. She was on her way.
Well, they would have had to have the Becky Ronda match.
Yeah.
And that's the match everybody wants to see, so they wanted to, you know, it was a good thing that they could push it back because everybody wanted to see it. But
it's
we would have got the Charlotte finish, but with Becky.
Yeah.
I just wish Nia didn't talk like a Valley girl sometimes.
It's totally Mike Tyson syndrome.
It really is.
It's just
or the Warlord.
That guy had everything, man. What? Oh,
except for his voice.
Yeah, the Warlord could have been a contender. Well, that's what they put him with Slick. I don't even remember what they put him with.
So there's a bunch of people. The women, so that one was a great match. We got the conclusion that we expected to. Moving on, I think the men's chamber was also fantastic. I enjoyed the chamber match a lot. Both chamber matches hit home runs.
I'm glad they sandwiched the pay-per-view like that too.
Yes, I agree.
I was very surprised at how long that last match went because I was looking at the clock when they started doing the introductions, and I'm like, are we going to get shorted on this pay-per-view?
Well, we still did.
We did.
I mean,
I'm actually happy about it.
Oh my God, I was in bed by 10:30. I thought it was like, you know,
we didn't get as shorted as I thought we were going to.
After the Royal Rumble, my God.
That was their apology for the Royal Rumble. They said we're going to give them a break, and you know,
they said, Ruby, you just take a night off. Ruby Riott gets the night off.
That was
might as well not have even had that match.
Well, all right, so let's talk about that match. So you're booking this whole thing. The lead into this match was, you know, Ruby saying that she's being overlooked and that nobody's giving her the opportunity and that, you know, she can be in the main event with the top women and go after and then you have Ronda squash the shit out of her. Like, I that is what I don't understand.
And then give her a decent match.
Right. She's competitive one night and she's not competitive another. It doesn't.
And it wasn't because of time constraints, clearly. You know? Yeah. So what was the purpose of, like, to me, that does not help Ruby at all. You know, her showing on Monday obviously helped out a lot more. I mean, listen, we all knew at the end of the day Ronda wasn't losing. So, you know, I mean, that we knew. There were a few times on Raw we actually thought she might lose. But
yeah, but you could have a nice back and forth match.
Well, that's where I was going. But at the end of the day, you could have made it seem like Ruby had a fucking prayer, and she didn't even come close.
It was such an afterthought. It's unfortunate. Like,
yeah. But I will say this. What they took away from during the match, they made up for after the match.
Oh, definitely good angle after the match. For the most part, I want to touch on something for the Ruby Riott thing, where the match was short on pay-per-view and then it was long on TV. It's almost like the way TNA used to be back in the day, where you'd watch their pay-per-view and then it'd be like, "Oh, you got to tune into Impact to see how this finishes up." It's like, come on, guys. And I understand what's going on. There's a lot of money in the TV deals right now. Now the pay-per-view isn't $60 a month, and you know, the revenue stream is different. It's more of an over-the-top streaming service like a Netflix or whatever. The TV deals are now their big focus. So I've noticed it happen over the last couple of years. It was really apparent with that Ruby Riott Ronda Rousey thing. Is sometimes they lead the viewer back to Raw. Like, you watch Raw to get hyped up for the pay-per-view, and then they go, you got to go back to Raw for a little while. So I think that's kind of what they're doing, is there are certain things or certain matches that they're okay with putting on free TV, knowing that it's going to get more eyes or more ratings on the free TV to help out their TV deal.
Yeah, then you get the clips on YouTube where they get a ton of views.
Yeah, and they like to keep the YouTube matches, or the pay-per-view matches don't necessarily go up on YouTube. They like to keep those under wraps so you continue paying for the service. But if it's a free TV match, they can put it up on Hulu, it goes up on YouTube, or whatever. Different revenue streams.
Sounds pretty fucking stupid to me.
I know, but look what they do. It feels
I
like
get it, but it's
they definitely do stuff on pay-per-view that ends up leading to an angle, like a resolution on Raw. What are we doing here? Anyway, that was my thing on the Ruby Riott match. It's a conspiracy, conspiracy.
So Finn Balor.
Well, did you guys want to talk, like, the angle with Charlotte and Becky and Ronda? That was a whole rigmarole of a segment. Like, Ronda got split open. It was chaos.
I mean, it was great. It's setting up how, you know, listen, Vince is going to have to put her in and make it the triple threat. You know, so I mean, they're doing a good job in accomplishing what we all know is coming, which is triple threat. You know, at Mania, which I'm happy with it. I really am.
I would be much more. It's happening. The match is happening. We all know it. I would rather see a one-on-one match. That's just the way I am. I want. Listen,
I get it, and I'm with you. I would rather see the one-on-one, but I'm totally cool with the triple threat, and I think they're gonna tear the house down.
There'll be some cool. I think there'll be some cool spots, and they'll work together. You know, do like triple team spots kind of deal, and that'll all look good. And I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a bad match. It's definitely gonna be a great match, but like, I don't know.
It's disappointing. I know. I'm with you.
I think they think the money is in Charlotte, or that they're hedging on Charlotte in case Becky flops or Ronda leaves, or like they're making these hedges.
Well, I will say this. I read something, and listen, I can't remember where or so how credible, but I heard that Vince is the one that officially said, "Now's the time we got to get behind Becky Lynch." So you know that he's the one that is pushing the whole Becky Lynch deal. So I don't know. You know what I mean? It's what whatever you believe.
I just want this to eventually be, and whether it's Becky taps out Charlotte and then we have a singles match at SummerSlam, wherever it lands, I think the money is Becky Ronda square up. Like,
I think we're gonna eventually get there,
and I know we're gonna get there, but it's like
Well, I can tell you where it's not going to happen, and that's
it's not happening at MetLife Stadium in April. But but expect again, we're a week out from Ric Flair's birthday celebration, so expect.
But I think
fireworks.
that says a lot about how their faith in Becky if they think they can extend it.
I guess so. You know, to go to another 6 months or 4 months or whatever it is to get it to SummerSlam. I just hope they don't.
What if you extended a year?
Oh my God! I don't think they have the patience for that shit.
I didn't say patience, but if they could.
I do. You know, I mean, in the sense that I could wait for it if it was worth it, but you know that like anytime the WWE puts something on the back burner, it just they never get to it. Like that Shield reunion, something always pops up. Somebody gets injured, somebody trips over a fucking soda can or whatever it is, and you know, falls in a pothole and twists their ankle or whatever. And we never get it. So
or catches a cancer and
yeah, I know it catches some terrible disease, affliction. But it's like those things that you bank on. The only one that happened was the one that nobody cared about, Rock and Cena. Do we need to see that twice? We didn't need it twice.
No.
But anyway,
we definitely did not need that twice.
So we had the Becky Ronda segment. Becky beat the shit out of everybody. I liked how Becky was hitting Charlotte, and Ronda was just like, oh, "Go ahead."
Yeah, it was great.
It's fine. And
I'm
not gonna stop. But then Becky turns on her. She's like, "Whoa, wait a minute! I thought we were friends here."
Those look like some pretty brutal shots too.
Oh yeah, they definitely. She was swinging the shit out of that. One of the matches we skipped over was the Usos and Miz Man.
That was another outstanding match, but I was very surprised that they didn't give them a run.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go a little longer than this, and then I realized, like, oh shit, if they're going to set up the Miz versus Shane at WrestleMania, they're going to have to do it sooner than that.
Well, they could have lasted till Fastlane.
Yeah, that's also true, and then build it from Fastlane. But I agree with you, Steve. I picked them to win on our pick'ems, and
I did as well.
I thought it was a lock because they didn't have the titles that long.
And
I did also because Jimmy Uso got arrested.
Yeah, also. Yes. Oh, since we're talking about it, let's just bring this up real quick. No judgments here. Well, maybe a teeny bit. What's her name? Is it Naomi?
Yeah.
It's Naomi and which Uso? I don't want to get the name wrong.
Jimmy.
Ooh. There you go.
Naomi and Jimmy. Okay, they kind of rhyme. Maybe I'll remember that now. They got pulled over. Allegedly, Naomi was driving the wrong way down a one-way street. And allegedly, the police, Jimmy Uso, got out of the car and took his shirt off and wanted to fight the police, which is about the most Samoan thing I can think of somebody could do. If you told me Meng did it a while ago, I would have believed you. So this doesn't really surprise me. But yeah, it's not the best look the day before a pay-per-view or whatever it was. The real Uso.
Living the gimmick, baby.
I was going to go to the Uso penitentiary.
If he gets arrested, do you think they'll use his mugshot for some kind of Uso penitentiary thing on TV?
Yeah. That would be awesome.
I like the part where they said Jimmy took his shirt off and wanted to fight the police, and then one of the policemen grabbed a taser.
Yeah.
The whole situation calmed down. Once you introduce a taser.
And he didn't say, "Don't taser me, bro."
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, I
he
hope
wasn't down with the taser since day one.
I just want to know. I just want to know if there's like body camera footage of this arrest.
I mean, if anybody has it, it will leak. So
seeing Jimmy Uso throw his shirt off and want to fight a cop, I'm like, oh my god.
And also, did they get the belts because they were afraid they were going to go to AEW?
Oh, we're going to say that about everybody now. Who knows?
Hey, listen, they could have given them the titles because they're fucking talented as hell.
I mean, they are awesome. They're one of the best tag teams.
One of the best, and I'm glad they won them. Again, I'm just very surprised that there wasn't more of a run. Was there anything else about the chamber that we should cover?
Kofi.
Kofi. Fucking Christ, Kofi. Dude, how many times did we actually think he was going to actually pull it off?
It would have been really nice, and then I remembered how Vince McMahon feels about black people.
Oh man, you had to go there.
I was thinking about that halfway through the match. I'm like,
Wow.
oh, this isn't going to go well. It's Black History Month. Vince McMahon.
You could have said, because he doesn't like the little guys as champion, but fuck, it had to go with the color.
Okay, Seth Rollins curb stomped Big E during Black History Month, like 2 years ago. This is a thing they let happen on national television. Vince McMahon walked through TV one night and said, "What's up, my nigga?" to
I remember that.
There's a pattern here. We just get it. We understand. The Rock even had to have a little cream in his coffee to be light enough to be world champion. We get it. We get it.
It led to a great Booker T. Tell me he didn't say that.
It did, but Amanda's
I would
dying
just like
over
to
there.
say that not everybody on the panel agrees with the things that are coming out of Vince Berry's mouth. The host.
I'm just saying. Listen, we'll throw this out there so nobody gets sued. Allegedly.
Thank you.
That
makes it all better.
But it's like, you're right. You thought about it. You're like, this guy's going to fucking win this match. And then it's like.
He came so close. And what a performance. I mean, we really forget, especially when he was Jamaican, how talented he is. He is so good. So good.
Yeah.
He had that run, and this is it makes me feel so old. This was like 2009.
Yeah.
Where Kofi was spray painting Randy Orton's NASCAR.
That was a good program.
And then he jumped off the thing. He jumped off the railing and landed on Orton, and Orton was on the production thing. There was a whole great angle going there, and I don't know. Was that one of those ones where like Randy Orton thought somebody was stupid and then they stopped?
Yeah, he actually said that in the ring.
That was the stupid one. Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
Kofi, Big E reposted that after Kofi eliminated him.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good continuity. But like, that was, if you think back to that was their priming or testing Kofi for a main event run. And that was 2009. It was a decade ago. Let's go with this guy.
Be nice.
I understand he's not the biggest guy. I understand that
Daniel Bryan's champion right now. There's no...
Seriously, when all of the adults and most of the children in your crowd are bigger than the world champion, you could put the belt on anybody. Like, Kofi...
So then why even have a cruiserweight division? Like even slightly bigger than Daniel Bryan?
Ask Rey Mysterio, who was world heavyweight champion. There's no weight classes. Could you imagine if he got up to like 350 pounds, just this little cannonball rolling around the ring? Oh,
that'd be great. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be funny.
Rey Mysterio really let himself go, and he's just doing fucking somersaults.
Is he doing a roll? No, he just fell over.
And I really do appreciate Kofi. I like that everybody, they gave him the time afterward to soak up the applause, and like Big E came out and Xavier came out.
Did anyone for a split second think that for a moment Big E was about to like clothesline the shit out
I
of
did.
Kofi?
I had a fear about that.
I did too.
My fear was
Like,
that
you're taking the spotlight, fuck you.
No, my fear was that Kofi was going to retire.
Oh, I never even thought.
Like he just had like he put all he could into it, and this was like his last. Not that he was like gonna do it immediately, but like I thought they were sowing the seeds of like, oh, does he think he doesn't have it anymore? The two guys are coming out to cheer him up, but he's not really cheered up. Like,
and to think he wasn't even supposed to be there.
Yeah, Mustafa Ali, and I'm sure Mustafa Ali would have done fantastic in this match, but he doesn't have a decades plus worth of goodwill with the fans. He's very over and people like him a lot, but when you compare to like Kofi, people really,
that's why I'm glad they ran with the whole Kofi thing once he got in.
Yeah. And again, this proves, just like Becky getting punched in the face by Nia proves, that the WWE is best when it's thinking on its feet and not when it's just doing. Like, when they plan this stuff ahead, they tend to overthink it. And then Stephanie McMahon gets involved. And then Triple H talks for half an hour and everybody falls asleep. And then, you know what I mean? Like, they just beat it to death. When it's something that they have booked well out in advance, it's too, I don't know, it's too sterile.
I like him playing face and heel with him being the one who's suspended had a hand in suspending Becky, yet trying to play to the crowd.
But you got to remember too, though, it wasn't Triple H suspending Becky.
Oh no,
Lynch.
I'm just saying in general when WWE overthinks
it
things.
wasn't. No, I hear you. But what I was going to say to Ryan's point too, we got to keep in mind too. To them, that wasn't being a heelish kind of move. To them, they were looking out for Becky's best interest, saying you need to make sure that you're cleared so that you don't fuck yourself up.
I'm talking after she got cleared and the apology.
Well, the apology was because she, hit the.
We also accepted it, but it was McMahon that reinstated the suspension,
which was so funny.
And he did go, oh, it's 60 days. That's 5 days past WrestleMania. Guess you're not in the match.
Shame.
Poor Asuka too. I like what the fuck.
I feel like tonight they have to decide.
I saw a great meme the other day, and it was a milk carton, and it said missing, and it was Asuka's face. What's going on? Like, I feel horrible.
This is why we don't need 2 women's titles, because they never focus on more than one women's program. Ridiculous.
And what happened with our fear was right around a year ago, we were talking about Asuka being brought up from NXT. What are they going to do with her once the streak is over? Who breaks the streak? And then what's the follow-up? And the follow-up has been underwhelming.
It was getting better when she won the title, then it went back down.
Right. And not that she should, argue all you want about whether she should or shouldn't have lost at WrestleMania. Whatever. You can still take somebody who has one loss and make them interesting and use them. Not even make them because she's interesting enough as she is, as being herself. But use her. Like you took her from Japan, you're paying her a lot of money, you put her through your developmental program, and now she's a complete afterthought.
And she's fantastic.
And she's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. And not even women's wrestlers. If you stacked her up, she's probably better than like half the men. So I just don't understand.
Great gimmick, great entrance.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody that's credible enough to give her a decent match at WrestleMania now.
You know what I think it's too? I think we're at a point now where one thing that could seriously help, and of course if they actually like put her on TV and use her in story, maybe it's time for a heel turn. We haven't had a heel Asuka.
Yeah, we haven't had it on the
Also, I think since it seems like Charlotte and Becky are going to Raw, then Alexa Bliss and Ember Moon, when she's clear, should move to SmackDown because they would be great partners for Asuka.
Oh yeah, she could
match up nicely.
I would
pick up from the NXT feud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just had a thought, and again, we'll say this for again. This does not represent everybody over at Tag Me a Date, but I'm going to shop this around the room. We need a heel. If we're going to have a heel Asuka, I would love for her to have a heel manager, like they did with Yokozuna, almost like a Mr.
Paul Heyman.
Yeah, Paul Heyman would be great. Or what if it was like an Asian American who would not necessarily translate for her, but speak on her behalf because her English is okay, but it's not the best. If you had somebody who was like an Asian American, she doesn't. They could almost be like a Nakamura thing where she doesn't want to speak to you people because you don't understand her or whatever. She doesn't respect your English. She'll only speak in Japanese. I'll do all the talking for her, whatever the fuck.
What about Funaki?
They should get that. They should have a mouthpiece, and they should put her with Shinsuke, and maybe Tozawa or
like a Kai and Tai.
Right. As heels, have Asuka put on some crazy sick face paint now, and
because Nakamura was a big time heel. I mean, he was a babyface. He went both ways in Japan. But like he was a big time heel in Japan at one point. So
He was a better face in WWE than a heel in WWE right now, unfortunately.
Oh, for
but
sure.
That's just the way he's being booked too. So you can't really fault him for that because he's doing the heel part well. That's for sure.
yeah, I just see, in Japan, the faction thing is a big deal. So they'll have 10 guys in a faction. Not all of them are featured at the same time. They'll go rotate in and out of feuds. But you could do something that's a Japanese-style faction in America. Heck, why don't you have the fucking Good Brothers with them?
Yeah.
Nice.
Gallows and Anderson play into their time in Japan. You
Not
could
you do anything else with him.
How about this? I just thought of it. The guy that does all the translating for them or the speaking for them, fucking Big T, Albert,
Oh yeah.
Sweet T, whatever his name is. Yeah, so like
Yeah,
Albert
Sweet
was
Tea.
Jason Alberts when they
That
used him
worked.
on commentary, because he was in Japan with all those guys. So I think it could. I think that would be an interesting road to take. A nice little faction. Get those guys some heat, because like Nakamura's not really doing much.
Nope.
They're not doing anything with him, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do we want to take some questions? We want to talk about Raw?
No,
Or
let's
do we-
get in. We got to touch on Raw for sure because I got to say this right off the bat. I thought it was a great Raw all the way through.
That was the best.
Crowd
We're getting to see some new shit, but is it me or did that crowd suck? Because I feel like the NXT guys did not get their just due from that crowd.
No,
Aleister Black got no fucking crowd reaction. Ricochet got no crowd reaction until after the match, who stole the fucking night.
Yeah, nobody really got any reaction, even when Triple H was like announcing all that cool shit.
It was the wrong town to debut them in.
Apparently so.
Where were they?
Louisiana.
Yeah, Lafayette, Louisiana, which New
They
Orleans
should never go back
Nope.
there.
They should
New
go
Orleans
to
would
a
be
major
interesting.
city where they know NXT people might be more known.
Like
Yeah. But it was
go
just the whole
Florida.
show. It wasn't even just the NXT guys. Everything was getting that fucking fart in church reaction.
It was just horrible. Like, I felt horrible. I mean,
Aleister
Aleister Black
would
was
get more
awesome.
reaction.
Aleister Black was awesome.
Oh,
and he
yeah,
got no
It
crowd
was such
reaction.
a fucking Revival versus DIY.
Yeah, that was great. And
Another outstanding match. It was just so weird.
the only
Like,
thing
the crowd makes a difference. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
for sure. The only thing I didn't like was our never-ending time loop of Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman matches.
Yeah.
This is just, it's silly now. But the rest of the show was pretty good. The matches and segments were good. And
Maybe one more match where Braun just came out and killed him.
So here's my question. How's this actually going to go down? Because it's my understanding now that they are all called up to Raw, right?
I
'Cause
think
they all
it's
kept
Raw.
saying they're Raw debuts, but you got champions
think so.
in NXT. So what's the deal? Like,
yeah, I don't think, if anything, I don't think Gargano and Ciampa are called up. Because like
just
you said, they're still
Aleister
champions.
and Ricochet?
Yeah, I mean, potentially. I mean, I don't know if it was very clear. I mean, I'd have to go back and listen to what Triple H said at the beginning of the show. Like, I don't know if he addressed it specifically that these guys were signed to Raw or what.
Wasn't Kevin Owens on Raw and NXT as champ?
That's true.
And Sasha Banks was too.
But those guys, I mean, the whole idea with those guys is they're going to have another big blow-off match in New Orleans at TakeOver.
Yeah.
Because you can't have, like Gargano and Ciampa, their story is not done in NXT. They're taking a whole, literally, like you said earlier, Ryan, it's a whole year to tell this story. And even maybe a little bit more than a year. Maybe, it's really been going on since they were Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
I really hope this is the real deal that Ricochet is called up because I just think about the potential matches, him and Finn Balor, Ricochet, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles, Ricochet. I mean, there are so many. The list goes on. This is exciting. Ricochet is a game changer. He really is something special, man. He does shit that people just can't do. It's unreal.
We could end up seeing Balor versus Ricochet for the IC title at WrestleMania.
Oh, God.
Well, Ricochet already started teasing that on Twitter.
I love the tweeter.
I saw something the other day that it was Ricochet, and he said, "Who wouldn't want to see Ricochet versus Finn for the IC title?" And that was before his debut on Raw.
Nice.
So, they're already kind of teasing that. I mean, it would just be outstanding. It's just opening up some potential. And the main roster right now is worried about this NXT talent taking their spots. And you know what? They should be worried because, they're hungry and Aleister Black looked awesome.
Yeah,
he did.
Aleister Black, I mean, that guy's a fucking... The only problem they had was I don't even think they understand what they've got because Michael Cole's like, oh, he's so moody and brooding and blah, blah, blah. It's like, why don't you have him put on fucking Dracula plastic vampire teeth and go out there and just shut up, Michael Cole.
I will say this too. Aleister, though, is in my opinion, another Mike Tyson situation. Like, his voice just doesn't fit his gimmick.
No, it doesn't at all.
Like, he should have a deep, dark voice. You know what I mean?
And an accent.
Yeah,
like he's Dutch, right? He should have some kind of accent. As long as it's, I love gold.
That'd be funny, though.
Oh, that would be smoking a pancake?
I will get you, doctor.
Oh, no, he's the new member of the New Day.
Oh, jeez.
He's the fourth black guy in the New Day. Oh, no.
But that entrance is fucking sick. And that music.
Yeah. Oh, the whole thing works.
Wait, they queued up the entrance was amazing.
The way he rises up like that, like a vampire, I love that shit.
And then the flip over the ropes into the sitting cross-legged.
Oh, yeah, it's like how fluid everything is. It's just mind-blowing to me.
And that kick, when he, when he connects with it.
Oh, my own. Yeah, unless you're poor Lars Sullivan, put him on a fucking milk carton next to Asuka.
Yeah.
Still no update on him, huh?
But I mean, he not so much, not from what I've heard. But yeah, that kick again. If he doesn't miss it, it looks real good. Like, it looks like it kills you. I mean, he's a star. That guy is a main eventer, I think.
I can't wait for him versus Balor. Do the Demon verse.
Oh, that would be neat.
All right, stop with the Demon. I've given up hope.
Right? Yeah. I mean, at this point, what the fuck? They even have...
would be great.
If we don't see Demon at Mania, I don't believe we're ever going to see it again. I'm just giving up on it.
When Sam Roberts is talking shit about the Demon on the pre-show, it's time to pack it in.
What a douchebag.
He stinks. He's so bad.
He's so horrible.
I can't remember what Balor hit back with, but that was pretty good. The whole...
Well, I like that Booker T said something like, you think just because you grew a beard, like, you know what you're talking about? Like, he busted his balls about growing a beard. Oh.
It was, he had a face for radio, so he should stick to it.
Which is, I mean, he's not even good at radio, guys. I'm sorry. I listened to Opie and Anthony for years. He's the worst. Good producer, just not a talent. His voice is just...
No, that's why it was the face for radio.
Right, yeah, no, but his voice is terrible, too. He's got the voice of a mime.
He's got a voice for silent films.
Yeah.
Marcel Marceau had more personality.
Anything else that we should talk about on Raw? Because, I mean, the Revival DIY thing.
Paul Heyman induction.
Oh, yes, the Paul Heyman going in. And I saw Paul Heyman a bunch of times on my screen last night.
We should talk about DX.
Oh, yes.
DX is getting into the Hall of Fame. And I want to say something. There's a lot of back and forth about Chyna, and people are saying this is bullshit, that she should be inducted individually. And, at the end of the day, it took us a very long time to get to a place where they felt comfortable inducting her into the Hall of Fame, whether it be solo or in DX. And let's face it, if there was no DX, there was no Chyna.
Yeah.
Chyna was DX. And it's appropriate, in my opinion, for Chyna to be inducted within the group of Generation X.
Oh, 100%.
Do I think that there's an opportunity for her to be inducted individually? I think so. I think this is the stepping stone. This is right. This is the stepping stone to that. So all the people that are all Twitter happy and Facebook happy and shitting on it and this and that, she's getting in the Hall of Fame, folks. This is what we wanted. Chyna's getting in, and it's well fucking deserved.
Yeah.
People are just trying to put themselves over.
And
Do you know how delighted X-Pac is right now?
oh, I'm sure he's very happy.
Wrestling fans are never happy.
Oh
No.
One thing, they want the other thing.
Of course
So
not.
true.
Now Becky Lynch is over pushed.
Yeah.
And overexposed.
Absolutely
Like,
not.
God damn it. Can we
They-
just be content with something working for
Listen,
once?
the prick that says that is the one that's standing online for 5 fucking hours at a mall waiting to get a picture and an autograph.
Also true.
Mm-hmm.
At the airports at 4 a.m.
Oh, yeah. Bugging the shit out of him. But
Sasha was so mean. It was 4 a.m. at the airport and she refused to take a picture. She's such a bitch.
did you ever see the
She had
picture?
6 hours of flights and couldn't sign my 20 million
Seriously,
things.
she just got back on a flight from
I
New
only
Zealand.
asked her to sign 10 things. I didn't think it was such a big deal. I'm the reason she's a star. Fuck you. You
And
know?
then she got upset when I called her a bitch.
Right. Did you ever see the picture of Randy Orton was like in the bathroom washing his hands and some kid took a picture?
Yeah.
And Randy's got the look on his face like, what the fuck are you like? If
Yeah.
it was a kid, if it was an adult, Randy Orton would have shoved that phone up the guy's ass. But
He
it was a
probably
kid.
would have grabbed the phone and pissed on it.
Oh,
It would have been
absolutely.
an RKO out of nowhere.
He would have done something
Walked in, grabbed the bag, shit
and
on.
shit on it. Yeah, he just would have shit on the iPhone. But yeah,
You want to
Chyna,
selfie that?
it's unfortunate that Chyna got in after she passed away.
Yeah.
It would be nice for them to acknowledge Chyna, especially with the way that they're focusing on the women's wrestlers. She was a women's wrestler in an era of bikini models. And
Have they
could've-
ever done like
know.
a 2-person induction at once? Because like you know how they usually have like a group and
Oh, like going in as a group and then going in as an individual at the same time?
Oh, I see.
I don't
There's-
think so.
I don't think that's something they've ever done, but why they could potentially. Like, why couldn't you? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I think they might
I think they would wait.
more years. Yeah, I feel like they might need a few more years to
So-
be comfortable with the idea of her going in as a solo.
One thing too, we got to talk about, and we kind of touched it a little bit privately, but on the air, the number one question now is who inducts DX into the Hall of Fame.
It's a very good question,
Ryan had said Hall and Nash would be.
and that's a very good answer.
That's the only people I could think of.
I kind of feel like Hall and Nash doesn't make sense in this situation, though. Am I wrong?
Maybe it's X-Pac.
I'm just thinking
Induct
it's
himself?
part of the clique.
Ah, yeah, that's true because he's still It's funny.
Yeah,
'cause
but it's
X-Pac is like in the middle. He's a click guy, but he was an NWO guy and he was a DX guy. Maybe he could do the induction. I don't know. You're right. It would be weird if he did the induction.
and does anyone else think it's a little weird that Billy Gunn is getting inducted in the Hall of Fame as he's working for AEW now?
That's
I
wonderful.
think it's more because it'd stand out like a sore thumb if he wasn't there.
Well, no, they have to induct him. He's a part of it. I mean,
Yep.
Now, what about do Kane and Tori get in? Does Ron Killings get in?
Hornswoggle.
No.
Yeah,
I
Hornswoggle.
don't
That
think
time they
Kane's
inducted
ever
everybody.
official.
Mike Tyson. Well, Mike Tyson's already in.
Tyson, Austin, Michaels.
But
Austin would be good. Austin
yeah, Austin could induct them.
Yeah.
or Mick Foley.
Yeah. Could you imagine Tyson's
The
speech
Rock.
though? Mike Tyson's Hall of Fame induction speech for DX would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've got 2 words for you.
He can't even pronounce them. Fuck it. THUK. Okay. THUCK. Fuck it. Oh,
If we ever see Mike Tyson, we're all getting punched.
I know, right? Just run.
So did we have any questions? I know we still don't have access to our inbox.
Oh no, I saw one screenshot from the inbox
Yep.
that Kat sent.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's Kaylee. She's our regular.
Yes.
And I think we touched upon her comment. She had I think she was talking about the lack of enthusiasm from the crowd, if I remember correctly.
I believe you're right. There it is. Yeah, from Kaylee. Did you think the crowd should have been much better than they were? How do you feel about the new NXT superstars and the main roster? I'm excited and looking forward to what's coming. You know, and that's the thing. You got to be excited about these guys coming up, even if they're not permanent. They got featured. That means that they're on someone's radar higher up, and they've got all the opportunity in the world to make a name for themselves.
Listen, you wanted new feuds and you wanted new matchups, and this is how you're going to get it. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? NXT is not hurting for talent, so they can afford to get rid of some.
And I would be so okay with, for example, Finn and Ricochet being a tag team for a little while.
Oh my God, it would be great.
Because then there's going to be a tag team breakup, and then there's going to be a tag team feud. And, you know, that those are some of the best. The tag team splits up, and then they have a grudge match feud.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And NXT keeps regenerating anyway, so they're going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, if they leave the Undisputed Era for now.
Because I see them all getting gold by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I will say this too, though. What makes us think that we're not going to get some NXT talents tonight on SmackDown?
Also true.
Fire.
So, you know, that means, you know, maybe Cole and all them show up on SmackDown tonight. Possibility.
That'd be a great Mania match with them and Usos.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a sick
That
match.
would be amazing.
Or the Revival.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
feel
go
like,
wrong with either one of them.
I feel like they got to have a big multi-man, multi-team, tag team mess at, and not mess, but, you know, like Spot Fest at WrestleMania.
What about another TLC?
I'd be okay with that.
I feel like if the Usos don't get their own spotlight at WrestleMania, that's just not fair. They don't need more of these 6-man tag matches.
It's more to get people in it than dilute the Usos, though.
Still, they've been.
I mean, with them as champs, it's not. They're not kind of pushed to the side, though. I'm sorry, I was trying to find the best way of wording that.
Yeah,
At least that's how I would feel if they were walking in as champs.
Yeah, if you're walking into WrestleMania, you get, as a champ, you get featured in some way. Even if it's
as long as they don't shove the match on the pre-show.
Yeah, as long as you don't get pre-showed.
Like they got on the main show last year, but it was a multi-team thing, right? Well, it was them, New Day, and Bludgeon Brothers, right?
Yeah, the Who Cares Brothers.
The Vegan Brothers.
And they won. Yeah, that was the worst part, was they won after all that. I'm trying to find it, but on
those two were so much better as Wyatt family members.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. On the WWE social media, and I can't find it right now. I saw it on Reddit. They said there was going to be an announcement. I don't know if it was next week on Raw or whatever, but it sounded like it was going to be an announcement regarding NXT. Potentially, the speculation was basically that NXT was going to be part of the draft.
Yeah, I saw that as well. That there was a picture with them being involved.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Get ready, because this week's NXT will feature a special announcement. With no additional details available, speculation about what's in store for the Black and Gold brand is running wild.
Brother.
Now, what if Hulk Hogan is the new general manager of NXT, and then they have a draft? I don't know. You know, just the way they said running wild, that's probably not the case. But I'm just saying, it looks like they could be involved in the Superstar Shakeup, which would be.
I mean, when is the Superstar Shakeup happening?
Didn't you hear that jaunty rap tune? I don't know.
It's in March.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in March.
Whenever they're in Montreal, that's when it is.
So it's happening before Mania? That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Maybe is it after, or is it before? It's before.
I mean, typically they do it after Mania.
I just feel like it's pointless, and they just need to forget the fucking split.
It's not happening.
No, I think we're closer to it happening now.
We are. Well, we are for the women anyway.
What?
15 and 16 of it. So
what?
week
Oh,
after.
it is after Mania. Okay, that makes sense.
15 and 16. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
You were in the ballpark. It was like a week or two later. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they decide to laterally move SmackDown or Raw people to NXT. Because if they promote them as a third brand, it's technically not being demoted to NXT.
Yeah.
Depending on who.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at it as a demotion at all. If anything, going up to Raw or SmackDown could be a demotion.
Hold on. I would say a demotion. It is somewhat of a demotion, and I'll tell you why. Because currently, the only access to NXT shows are on the network. They're not on the TV. You're not getting live SmackDown time, and you're not getting live Raw time. So yeah, in that respect, it is a demotion. You have to hope that people remember on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock that they go to the network and watch NXT. Now, if NXT gets an hour or two show on Fox or USA or wherever, now we're talking maybe not so much of a demotion, in my opinion.
Good point.
Right. No, I agree. I think
As long as they keep the format somewhat similar.
They go to Fox, the format's going to probably change, unfortunately. Unless they still let Triple H have full control, which that's my biggest fear, them going to a network, is that are they going to be allowed to have that, is Triple H going to be able to have all the control?
Because right now, the way it's presented is unique to Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
Right. And it is.
Oh, it definitely is. But whether or not that's the vision of Fox networks or whatever.
And that's the question. And how much are they going to be able to dictate? Right now, they don't seem very happy with the deal in the first place because ratings have been shit, although they are starting to turn, which, as I said, always happens. Especially now that we're on the road to WrestleMania. Historically, everything starts to turn now because this is the time.
Yeah.
And once the Fox thing goes down, they might not be as happy with low ratings. They might not tolerate it as well as USA does.
Well, I feel like they've already made that very clear.
Yeah.
That they've pretty much said if ratings don't get better, that this will be a very short-term deal.
The network holds most of the power.
And I think Ronda's going to go to SmackDown. They won't, because Fox wants her on SmackDown.
Oh, right.
Wait, because why?
Fox wants her on SmackDown.
Oh, true.
The feud out, so next year at Mania.
Wait, what?
The Becky Lynch Ronda. Sorry, didn't
stretch it out. Oh,
with moving.
Moving it from Raw to
SmackDown.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah. I'm excited for the shakeup. I mean, I think it's due.
And tonight's SmackDown that starts in 2 minutes should be hopefully setting the table for a few WrestleMania matches.
We need Fastlane first, though.
Oh yeah. Well,
do we really?
If we got a road stop.
So we're gonna have Asuka wrestle Sonya Deville and tap her out in 30 seconds at Fastlane. And
I heard some kind of rumor about Asuka defending against fucking Lacey Evans at Mania.
I heard that too.
What the fuck is her deal?
That would be awful.
Can we talk about Lacey? What the fuck is her deal? She comes out strutting with the fucking ridiculous hat. And then, this ain't America's top model. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
I did like how Heavy Machinery showed her really how to strut.
That was funny.
They should. I saw it last night. They were like, they should put Lacey Evans as the manager of those guys, and then try and do like a Pretty Woman thing where she tries to make them polite members
like
of
Sunny
society.
with the Godwins.
That would be awesome.
That'd be great. Because otherwise, as I said in the chat last night, she is Blanche from the Golden Girls or all of the Designing Women. I'm not sure which one, but if they decided to wrestle, that's what she'd be.
I think
so
she
funny.
sucks.
I
I didn't
like
like her in NXT either.
I like that Eric is so strong with his convictions when he
I
has.
can be blunt.
I like that.
I might not smoke blunts, but I can be blunt.
No,
Yeah.
we appreciate your bluntness. Also, we appreciate that the top of your head is blunt and not pointy, because that would look weird on camera.
You're beautiful.
Were there any more questions?
Not expecting that.
Yeah, man, did we get anything from your Instagram today?
There is a lot, but it's 8 o'clock.
Ah.
Oh,
Ooh.
we did have a lot to cover. Can we store those for next week?
Yeah.
Take screenshots of those, and then we will get to them next week. So I guess we should do our plugs real quickly since SmackDown is starting. Ask those questions using hashtag #AskTheWarReport and @TagMeADate on social media, on Instagram and Twitter. And we will pull one of our question askers to win a free entry to WrestleRumble.com. That's the WrestleRumble.com pay-per-view pick'em. If you finish in like the top 10, you get a cool prize. And if you don't win our pay-per-view pick'em entry, you can still go to WrestleRumble.com and get yourself a pay-per-view pick'em for as little as $5. That's WrestleRumble.com. Of course, stay tuned to the Tag Me a Date social media at Tag Me a Date. We are going to be talking about our new app that releases WrestleMania Weekend.
Hey now.
Should be a fun time where most of us will be together because Amanda decided to abandon us.
I'm really trying.
Call her Abanda because she abandoned us. But most of us will be there. We'll be celebrating not only WrestleMania Weekend, but the launch of our new app in both the Android and Apple app stores. So that'll be awesome. Our YouTube channel that you're on right now is the Tag Me a Date channel. If you go to youtube.com, tag me a date, take out all the spaces, squish it together, tag me a date. You can subscribe. Please hit the bell for notifications so you can be notified when we go live or when we upload a new video. We are live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. on Eastern Time. Adjust the time for your time zone. I don't know where you live. And also be sure to check out... I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. Figure it out, man. It's not that hard. You throw it into Google. Go to tagmeadate.com. It is free to sign up. It is free to match. It is free to send messages and post status updates. It is a full social network that you can sign up for free. I don't know where, and listen, you know where you live and you know your zip code. And if you want to put your zip code into tagmeadate.com and search for somebody within your zip code area, you certainly can. And it is free to do so. Hi, Frankie. Frankie. What's going to happen on SmackDown, Frank? The dog's not saying anything. Darn. But go to tagmeadate.com. It's absolutely free to sign up. It is free to register, to send messages, all that good stuff. You can find your tag team match amongst our roster of 70,000 superstars and divas from all over the world. So sign up now, tagmeadate.com, and we will see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. on Eastern Time. I don't know where you live. That's going to be our motto from now on. It's going to be on a fucking t-shirt. I don't know where you live.
It'll be our first pro wrestling team.
Yes,
I don't know where
let's
you
do
live.
that. We'll do a reverse t-shirt just for that. I don't know where you live. Tagmeadate.com is free. Tag Me a Date on social media. Tag Me a Date on YouTube. We'll be back next Tuesday, 7 p.m. on Eastern Time. Enjoy SmackDown. We'll see you next week.